flowing through the pen with every stroke. We create, we mend, the conversations blend. A bond we defend, dream on, drawn us to it again. And the art we share as we draw, we connect the love affair. Sketching dreams without a single care. Drive over the tether every share. As we draw, we connect a land, a love affair. Sketching dreams without a single care. Travel, draw together we dare. Chatter and scribble, my pencils in hand as we draw. We chat, let your creativity flow.
And we are live! It's been a little bit. We didn't do any stream last week because, well, we had no voice. So, it would have made a very, very quiet or raspy stream. We are live, we're up, and we should be up for Saturday as well. I don't know when we'll get back to gaming. Right now, it's a matter of we're gonna be doing an upgrade, and we gotta wait for that stuff to come in, and when that comes in, we're gonna have to be down a week just to get everything put to where it needs to be. But we are here, we are live, and we're gonna be talking about the supernatural. Ooh. Yeah, some really strange supernatural news. That I don't think many people know about, and that's why I kind of wanted to do it, because unless you follow supernatural stuff on YouTube or Twitch, you probably have no idea what's going on. But we will be talking about the drama of the Conjuring house and what is going on there, because it is some weird crap right now. But it's not so much supernatural as it is just mentally disturbed. Boogie Boo! Hey, how you been? Feeling better? Yes! I have a voice! That was the problem last time. When I was watching Danny Phantom today, no coincidence. I think not coincidence. I think not. I've watched a little bit of Danny Phantom. It was out of my purview. It became famous after I kind of quit watching Nickelodeon. And then these days, a lot of people have issue with Butch Hartman, the creator, which may also affect, viewpoints these days. But tonight, we are talking about the paranormal in the sense of a very strange event has occurred due to the mental stability of the owner of the Conjuring house. I'm gonna say mental stability because it's, probably. What did Butch Hartman do? I don't remember exactly. I just know that there's a lot of people that take issue with him these days. Let me see if I can look it up. Butch Hartman. Verse. Downplayed suicide and mental issues implied in the past by others. Okay, so basically, he came out. He's like the creator of Harry Potter, basically coming out against trans issues that are suicidal. I mean, we've talked about it a bit. Yeah, the numbers are fabricated. I am a trans woman. I can tell you the numbers are fabricated. It's more a matter of people are not dealing with mental issues that they should. And I mean, it's appropriate. We talk about this now because we will be touching mental issues as we get in the Conjuring House controversy. So, definitely, I don't like to downplay mental issues. I really don't. It's something for somebody to deal with and find their way to support. And as I stated before, typically people use trans these days as a band-aid to not handle deeper and more problematic issues mentally. To not confront mental issues and just be like, oh, you're trans. It's like, no. And, I mean, I kind of completely avoided the whole Olympic crap going on. There's more stuff going on with Mr. Beast, with the whole Chris stuff, but we're not going to cover it. I swear, this is not a drama channel. Even though we're covering drama tonight, and most of our popular videos are about drama channel. I have to look into that myself to see what he said. I feel Butch is an okay guy. He wrote a good series, a couple good series, because I mean he did Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom. And he was involved in a lot of other shows, so. I mean, I've seen him draw other things. I'm more offended with him being like, I don't understand anime. And it's like, okay, you're a cartoonist and you don't understand anime these days. It's like, nah. You just probably have a little hate there for it. But it's understandable. I had an art teacher who was very anti-anime when I was in college, and this was right as anime was starting to get most people's attention. And it's like right before, well actually no, it was right during the Pokemon official launch. So it's like, dude, you understand, anime's just like a style. It's not a genre. But we'll touch upon that stuff when we get to the breaks. How have you been? I've been pretty good, Sever. Alright, thank you for asking. Yeah, other than having no voice for a week, I've been pretty good. I still have some issues. I need to get it looked at properly, but the doctors have kind of screwed it up. I just kind of forgot how I had to touch his hair in this. Screwed up my appointment, and now my car's in the shop because it's old and it's electrical issues. So it's like, okay, now I don't have my car, so I can't get that fixed. So I couldn't get my throat looked at. And it's been an ongoing issue for over a month. But it's not been horribly painful until last week. So I spent an entire weekend without talking and just working on artwork and watching streams of stuff. But yeah, pretty good. I can't complain. And it sucks to have my car have issues, but again, like I said, it's an older car. I kind of figured it was gonna be problematic along the line, and it has been. So, but it's been a good car. So tonight we're mainly going to be drawing pages of Demon Blade. I do have pages of Witchin available as well, but to draw, but mainly going to be doing Demon Blade because I need to get the most of the work done for Demon Blade. And I can state that I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or Thursday. I'm going to release the cover page for Chapter 6 in Witchin. So, Witchin Chapter 5 is drawing to a close. I literally have all the pages sketched. I just don't have them fully drawn yet. So, people will be able to check out the cover soon of Chapter 6, because I drop them early. So, it's a scene that I've been waiting to do for a while with Witchin. It kind of sets up the prominence of most of the story in the next chapter, with Ida confronting the Wansdales. For the first time. So, meanwhile, we're getting to the more action-heavy element of Demon Blade. We're not there yet, but I mean, literally, this page right here, where I've started to do most of the artwork for it, it's like 2 pages before we start the action. That will move on into the next book, or next chapter, and the next chapter builds up for more action to go on in 12 and 13. So it's just like, bum, 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 bum. I'm still here just making pancakes and all this thing. Pancakes. I'd love to have some pancakes. I haven't had pancakes in a while. I mean, I'm supposed to have gluten-free, but I've not succeeded in gluten-free pancakes. I can probably buy them from somebody, but I just find it's easier to just buy gluten-free waffles. So, yeah. I also don't have much maple syrup right now. I have to go buy another thing of maple syrup, because I prefer the real stuff. I've gotten that way with most of my food. I mean, I made chicken tenders from scratch at home last night. And I enjoyed them. It's like, it was the first time I made them from scratch. I mean, I cook chicken all the time, but it's the first time for me to try making chicken tenders. I guess I could try nuggets at some point in the future, but I don't know. A lot of work. And you gotta use panko, really, to get the crispiness. And since I'm not frying food, it's gonna be baked, so it's gonna kind of like, one side's gonna be like but that's why I use panko instead of flour. tasty. They're tasty. I still got some of the tenders left to eat for tomorrow, but... Oh, dadgummit. No, don't do that. Ta-ta. All right, we're almost on 8:15, so drink a bit of my hot chocolate as we go over here to the talk. So yes, there's a big drama at the Conjuring house. Conjuring house, of course, many people know it from the Conjuring film series, based on an actual location with a supposed actual haunting. Where I stand on the paranormal is a skeptic. I'm very skeptic because I know how easy it is to fake some of this stuff that people put out there. But at the same time, I enjoy watching them because it's funny to see the reactions of people trying to play the long con in some situations. But yeah, this individual, Brian Dansereau, was an employee of the Conjuring house, and the owner, and I want to get the owner's proper name here, Nunez, Jacqueline Nunez. The owner hasn't paid Mr. Despereaux for several months or weeks. I don't believe the undead. I admit there's some strange stuff out there. I need more scientific study to really be like, oh, it's a ghost. I mean, I've joked. Our first stream when we came back from being homeless was about having a ghost in my apartment, which I will talk about later because there's been some strange developments there that I cannot explain. But yeah, the whole issue with Nunez is she hadn't paid this man for several paychecks. She owes him over $9,000, but she fired him. Why did she fire him? Because the ghosts of the house told her that he was stealing and stolen up to $3,000 from her. So she fired him because the ghost told her. I kid you not! This woman seriously fired a man because ghosts told her to. They said he was stealing. Oh no. Yeah. The Despereaux said he worked at the home, which opened to visitors, until current owner Jacqueline Nunez fired him abruptly last month. Despereaux said she told him the spirit of John Arnold, who owned the home with his wife Abigail in the 1800s. And we're not talking 1890s. No, we're talking 1830s here. Said Despereaux stole about $3,000, and Despereaux denied the theft. No. I would deny it too. She's either a liar or mentally insane. We're gonna lean on the mentally insane as we get into this nonsense with her. Because it gets worse from here. This is where it starts. This woman goes bat crazy. She said, John Arnold told me you've been stealing money out of the cash box for the past 2 months. Despereaux said in an exclusive interview with Target 12, showing text of the conversation. I literally stopped and had to correct her, like, John Arnold the one of the original owners, Nunez, self-described median. Now, I'm going to stop right there. It has been revealed Nunez is stating she is a psychic. She's a medium. She has not been a psychic until recently. So she's trying to claim she has psychic power and whatnot. I don't know what's wrong with her, but I'm sure it's named and they have pills for it. Yes, they have pills for delusions and all that fun stuff. But it gets worse. It gets so much worse. This story, I do not know how the bigger drama channel players have not covered this. Oh my god. Does not matter whether you believe in the paranormal or not, Nunez said in the statement, I and everyone entitled to experiences that bring an understanding of the meaning of our lives, including being informed or warned about wicked actors and actions. As for Brian, goes my experience with devolved quickly, accumulating in his at-will employment termination. So, a lot of people are speculating. Either she's lost it, or she's secretly trying to play out a new movie deal. Because the Conjuring movie was in 2013. So it's been over a decade for the movies. But, okay, appearance, the legend is there's a ghost in the Conjuring called, well, the family's ghosts are still there after a individual, I believe it was supposed to be a neighbor named Bathsheba, cursed them. And that's the legend of the Conjuring house. And this was back, oh, it says 1970s. No. Okay, no, not the 1970s. It was in the 1830s. It occurred in the 1830s. And then there was a family that moved in the 70s, which is where the story takes off. And the Warrens were involved. If you don't know who the Warrens are, we'll make a, full compilation of who the Warrens are and whether or not you should have ever believed them. For October. I wanted to hold off on this, but this has been just erupting over the past week. So I was like, well, we'll go ahead and tell this story. Because of what gets worse. So basically, as we've been talking about this, the mental stability of Nunez has reached the point where she's now, I think she's trying to claim she's reincarnated like Empress or something, Pharaoh, or it's insanity. It's insanity. It's pure insanity. A lot of people want to be like, that are on the paranormal are like, oh, she's possessed. It's like, no. This is just insanity, possibly scamming people to get to a movie deal. Basically, it goes into the descriptions here. Now, Dansborough is suing her for the $9,000 of unconsummated work. So this is now in the courts of Rhode Island. That she has to prove in court that you could terminate somebody because a ghost told you to. That's just really weird. So, and how Nunez got her money she is previously a lawyer. She is a lawyer. She has that experience. So that's how she got the money. But this is gonna get weirder as we get into this. It's gonna involve a celebrity ghost hunter. And I mean big name celebrity ghost hunter. And murder. Or attempted murder. So, this is going to get wild. So, that is where we currently stand with the story. Is the basis is Miss Nunez basically fired this guy, Dansborough, because a ghost told her. Or that's the claim. We have no way to prove it. It's in the courts. Celebrity ghost hunters. The Fentons. No, it is not the Fentons. But we'll get into it because there's a connection with another. Well, they weren't employed, but they were working there at the Conjuring house, and they left after an incident that happened about a year ago. But it involves a celebrity in the ghost hunting world, and their family. And this is why this is blowing off. Because it is just, it gets stranger and stranger. And I honestly was like, there's a video I saw posted right before the stream. I was like, I gotta watch this before we get on. But no, there was nothing new really. It's just them going and covering more of the subject. Because apparently these paranormal channels that check in with everybody else, that do ghost hunting and whatnot, they don't have much to talk about. I guess there's not much in the paranormal world. So, they've turned into drama channels with this mess. And it's like 2 to 3 times a day, they're doing new reports on this whole mess. But it's only the paranormal. It's not even, it's gotten to the local news, but it's not gotten to national news. And I don't know why, because this is just a hilarious situation. Another situation that dropped today, that I could say I have some forehand knowledge, and this involves another infamous person on YouTube. The Chris Chan arrest tape dropped. If you have not watched it, oh my god. Another individual who needed mental help, and I think they're getting it now. But, oh my god. The police involved were like, what the hell? And the reason I say, oh, I'm familiar with this. One, I've met Chris Chan in public. I've met them at a con, and I've met them also in person. Nothing bad, nothing note, other than just, yes, they are weird. Now, I met them before the crime that was committed. And I not only live a block away from the jail and the prison they were put in, I was also, I'm about 10 minutes, give or take, stoplights from the hotel that Chris was at when they got arrested. It's more of a motel. It's not really a hotel. It's one of the worst places to stay in the entire area. But yeah, they could give tours, I guess. They'd be like, the infamous Chris John situation was founded or what occurred here. And maybe they could fix up the motel, but that's if they gave a damn about fixing up the motel. Because it's literally advertised as like one of the cheapest places to crash, and they had a meth lab being run out of the damn thing. I had to look this up because when I became homeless, the hospital that I went to was like, okay, we're gonna set you up in a hotel, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna put you up here at the Regency. I was like, what? I was like, no. And they're like, well, what are you gonna do? What do you just go to a shelter? I'm like, I'll sleep in the freaking car, which is what I did. Over staying in that hotel. That place was, ugh. It's odd too, because everything around it, not crime-ridden. It's decent. But just that motel, a ton of crime. Murders, rape, drug use, drug deals, all that. Everybody knows that's the place to go. It's not like the police don't know that that's the situation. And the fact that hospital puts people, because it wasn't just me they were trying to put in there, but they tried to put drug abusers, recovering drug users, into that hotel when there's a known drug problem in the hotel. It's like, you're just not trying to solve the problem, are you? So, yeah, it's definitely a strange situation. But if you want to write a laugh, luckily, Chris is, I think, getting help these days. I don't follow the Chris Chan situation, but I think they're getting the help they need. Which is good. Good. You want somebody who is honestly mentally disturbed to get help. And in the case of Miss Nunez, we can assume she's mentally unstable by the way she's acting, but she bought this house because of the money-making possibilities. So I'm not taking out the possibility that Miss Nunez is doing this to try and make another Conjuring film and be like, or deal. At least like in books, and be like, I was possessed by a ghost and it made me fire an employee. No. You fired your employee. And while he was fired, many other employees have been quitting on her non-stop. I think there's only one other employee at this time that works there. And she is just that mentally stuck on herself that this is her. She's in the right, and when she's in the wrong. And that's basically the person we're going to be talking about next that's involved in this case. That's what they say in their own YouTube channel and their own coverage of the issue. But they are not just on the YouTubes. This is a celebrity of note. And at 45, I'll reveal the name. And their connections. Because they have 3 technical connections to this case. One being a notable paranormal researcher. And the others involving personal connections. Art-wise, I've been getting a lot done, at least in Demon Blade and Witchin. Which I'm glad. I've always kind of want to be about a month ahead on the 2 of them. I'm probably about 2 weeks ahead with Demon Blade, which is why I'm falling behind a bit on it, but Witchin, I think I've got a month and a half at least of content already done. Maybe even more, because I do have some that I've got to go through and do the text bubbles and final edits. But I also, it's the same with Demon Blade. I know I have at least 2 pages that I need to do final edits on that I haven't done. So and out of the comics, of course, both of them are my sort of children, essentially. That's how most artists consider their work. But Demon Blade is the one I put more effort into because it is the one I released in print publication versus just the digital with Witchin. But Witchin has got the bigger audience right now. It is definitely getting more attention than any other comics. But I'm pretty sure as the next several chapters of Demon Blade hit, that the audience is going to grow on this one a lot, because that's what happened originally because a lot of this story arc I drew before. We did in a 2013 release when I was able to do monthly pages or monthly comics. And when Demon Blade got popular was around this story arc, which it's at the start of. Da-da-da. Okay, let's see where I'm just trying to keep track of the time here, so I know when to switch over. Let's see. What have I done since, or watched or anything since, other than YouTube drama, or other drama, I caught up on Expedition Unknown, because I love archaeology. I've loved it since a child. And Josh Gates is pretty good. Plus, the other series, he has 2 other people be part of it, but he hosts Unexplained or whatnot. Both on freaking Discovery Max. I went from having just Prime, Netflix, and the anime streaming platforms to having Hulu, Disney Plus, and Max now, because it would lower my phone bill or my internet bill if I added them. So it's like, okay. And I given I was subscribed to Discovery Plus when it was a thing before it became launched into part of Max, and it was stuff I like to watch. I mean, next month I'll probably get into the Food Wars stuff and because you'll have the beginning of the holidays Food Wars stuff, which is really good. Junk food to watch, you know. So I get into those, and we'll indulge. I do love watching the I think it's like Baker Wars or whatever. I do love watching their themed cooking shows. It's better than watching Love Island. I don't understand reality TV at all. But it's not been the only thing I watched. I had a lot of people tell me the Tangled TV series was good. And I started it Saturday and just been letting it run for the last several days. And so I enjoy it. I did enjoy Tangle. And since I got Disney Plus, I'd watch it. I think the only one I'm not watching platform-wise is Hulu. Because it's still with ads, and it's annoying. I mean, when they mean ads, they mean... I literally watched, 8 minutes of an anime. I watched 8 minutes. And in that 8 minutes, I had 2 minutes of commercial for every 4 minutes that played. And it's like, what the hell? It just is not worth it. And if it weren't part of a package deal where I couldn't be like, no, I honestly would not have Hulu because it's just that annoying. Now, there are some shows I want to watch on Hulu because I love It's Always Sunny and it's the only way I can watch it. But it's like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. And then there's a couple anime that I wanted to watch, but it's strictly Hulu. It's like, okay. I'm not interested in Bleach, even though it's on Disney Plus. I was going through the list literally this afternoon when I got home. I was like, what anime is on Disney Plus that's not on Hulu? Not just on Hulu. And I was like, a lot of them are like, wow, these are on Disney Plus? Because stuff like Rumble One Half, we talked about Rumble One Half before. Rumble One Half is on Disney Plus. I was like, okay. There's lots of nudity there. And it's like, okay. I was like, I will give them mad props if they did Redo of a Healer. But they didn't. That was the one series they didn't have. I was like, if you did Redo of a Healer, I don't want to watch it. But if you did it, I would be like, damn, Disney, you have some balls. But nope, they didn't do it. So it's like, okay, all right, you didn't do it. I'm not giving you the prize. Okay, we didn't. That one's supposed to be white. Okay, let's save that. where we're at. And we're going to go back to talk as we talk about the star involved. And that star is Jason Hawes from Ghost Hunters, the lead investigator in Ghost Hunters from the start. I follow Jason Hawes on a lot of social medias, and this is how I got dragged into it. Jason's a nice guy of common sense. Ghost Hunters, they've had accusations of faking it, but at the same time, they honestly try to debunk. Unlike most other paranormal shows where they're like, ooh, we have a ghost. Oh, a ghost. They actually be like, no, you have bad air conditioning, or you have bad pipes. It's your house settling. So they will actually work to debunk. And that's why I always kind of respected Jason Hawes. Now, how Jason got involved. Well, one of Jason's children is named, is it Sayori? Sayori. It's one of his daughters who has a relationship with a young man who they have this paranormal test that they go around running. And they had a deal with the Conjuring home that they were going to operate out of this barn. And they were going to run tests for the audiences and whatnot, and let them see and experience stuff, but also have some, museum of paranormal stuff like that. So you see those few pixels totally wasn't special effect or glitch. Some dust or caught on camera. Yeah, it was a ghost. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I like. Jason has been like more often. One of his things is a lot of people love to say orbs are ghosts, which is just mostly dust or bugs, ladies and gentlemen. And even on bad cameras, on good cameras these days, you can still get them. It's dust or bugs. Amazing. A haunted place is dusty. Ooh. Scary. The maid hasn't visited. But yeah, it's that nonsense, but whatnot. But Sayori and her boyfriend, they were gonna put together this thing that was gonna be symbiotic relationship with the Conjuring home. Well, they were getting repairs done to the barn, and the barn caught fire. It was a pure accident, but the barn caught fire. And so they're having to repair the barn now. They're having to do all this. But there was this whole controversy of who's at fault. And ultimately, Sayori and her boyfriend were like, screw it, we're not doing any deal with you. You don't want to, reimburse us with insurance. You're scamming us out of all this stuff. It's like, we want nothing to do with you. You're done. We're done with this deal. So we're walking away. And that's what they did. Jason is not only a ghost hunter, but he's a plumber. So you go to him if you got a plumbing deal, and they did at the Conjuring house, and he gave some advice there. But he also has two other connections to the Conjuring house. Not just because he's a ghost hunter or a plumber. He has his daughter was involved. His other connection is he knew the former owners and was even offered to buy the house in the past. Now, it's like, okay. He's in possibility he could have owned it, but he didn't. He didn't buy it. He let it go to this lady that currently owns it, currently firing people because a ghost told her. But it gets worse. She got to the point where she accused Jason of attempting to perform an assassination on her life. How she came about this idea was she saw a truck on security cameras at like 4 in the morning. Well, not only did Jason disprove that situation with the video, that it was not him, he knew who was. They were people that paid money to be at the Conjuring house to do an investigation at night. And she didn't show up. So she took these people's money. They were there at the door waiting to get in, and she didn't show up. Lady is scamming. Flat out scamming. But yeah, the fact that she stated there was an assassination attempt on her life, total bupkis. Not believable 100%. Especially when you have the people that she was saying were assassins stating, no, we paid to do an investigation. And she didn't show up. And she didn't pay us back. It's like, dude, you go about accusing a notable figure in media. Ghost Hunters is the second biggest ghost hunting show and is one of the most well-loved because they don't do the crazy nonsense that other ghost hunting shows do. They actually try to debunk stuff. So they actually try to solve issues. And it's just Satori Oz, yeah, is the name of the daughter. So it's insane how this woman is acting. She's literally ripping people off, scamming them out of money, and just causing immense legal issues. I mean, flat out, I don't know why Jason hasn't sued her yet. To my knowledge, he hasn't. Mainly because he's a nicer guy that's like, hey, I want you to get the freaking help you need. Because Jason's the one coming out there and being like, hey, she's not possessed. She's mentally disturbed. Clearly, she needs some help. Get the help you need. Now, be like, oh, well, he should just ignore her and, go on. He blocked her from her messaging him online. So she's not supposed to be able to message him. She's been going through his children's email accounts and other accounts and attacking him from there. The woman is determined to attack the man and find ways to do it. That is technically illegal. I mean, I don't like to play sides on some of these issues unless it's blatantly obvious one side is in the wrong. And the Nunez is in the wrong 100%. It's a matter of, will she get the help she needs? I don't know. I certainly hope so. Because you're going into dangerous territory when you start accusing people of assassination attempts. That's, I mean, I'll crack the window a bit here of an event that happened years ago for me. Years ago, I lost a friend to someone who was mentally disturbed severely. This guy was crazy. There's no other way to say it. He blatantly, just in the light of day, one winter morning, or winter afternoon, excuse me, just sees my friend out there talking to a neighbor. He walks up, shoots the guy, and for no reason, for no reason given. The man was just simply mentally disturbed. And there was no beef, there was no issue with this neighbor. He was just having a bad mental day. And my friend lost his life because of it. I hate to see that occur again to somebody else. It's absurd. So sorry for mine. Thank you. I've gotten over it over the years. Other people haven't. But like I said, I think it's been over a decade now that happened. But it goes to show you never know with people. The mental acuity of people is just that screwed up. And when you get to the point that Miss Nunes is, you are literally at this point where if she has a weapon, she may use it. That's the disturbing part. Thinking, oh, my life's in danger. Oh, I need to eliminate the threat. I mean, it's messed up. It's messed up. But you see that sometimes. And that's how some mentally deprived people get. Let's work on this one, this panel. Oh, wrong panel. Let me do another. Oh wait, still on the wrong panel. Well, it's right panel, but wrong tool.
I stare and judge as I sing my song, but they don't know the struggle that I carry along. Every word that I
But
sing,
yeah,
it's my only way out, my chance to finally quit.
I don't think this channel is don't take my advice, because I am not a trained counselor, as solid advice. Get help if you're having mental problems. It's the same advice I gave when we talked about the trans issues in the past. I can speak through being a trans person who's lived through this, and whatnot. And I guess because I've dealt with people who have mental issues that go deprived. I mean, I suffer from depression and anxiety, for different reasons. Anxiety, I literally have a brain that won't let me sleep at times, and sometimes gives me continuous nightmares. And depression, because I've had some really bad moments in my life that have just mentally caused me to be down. But I find ways to move through those and move on. And far too many people these days don't look into their problems. They want to find the quick answer, the easy band-aids, drug use, alcoholism, addictions to video games, all that kind of stuff. I can say I'm slightly my vice has been addictions to video games, and unhealthy habits. Definitely eating, overeating. When I get in a depressed mood, I tend to eat comfort food, because that's what I do. And because of that, I'm overweight. Because I got depressed or had anxiety bursting through me for years. So, and because of my poor health habits, I'm not thoroughly active physically, and I should be. Trying to do a rough of Mai's face. And she's actually happy. Because Mai gets to do something she doesn't really get to do much in the story. Which is somewhat fun. I mean, the whole story of this is they're fighting, or they're going into a football match. American football match, where they're going to be using supernatural and magical abilities to play the game. So this is leading into where I have to do the sports ends of the action. And I get to do some of the fun stuff. Needs to have a 4 cut out there. The numbers on their jerseys are representing the day they were born on the calendar. Mai born on Valentine's Day. Eno born on 4th of April. 4/4, because it's a bad omen in Japan. And Tetsu / Tetra being born on June the 20th. And then there's the golem that is the supernatural force of this story arc, or this story, that has number 10, which is the issue he appears in. So, yeah, he's got number 10 on. But this whole issue with the Conjuring house, it's clearly mental instability. And it shows. Now, the only exception I have to that is greed. And that's gotta be figured in, because she'd be like, oh, well, I can get another Conjuring movie made. Yay. We got a spam post. I've debated about doing games again before we do the upgrade. Maybe going back to Stardew as this song plays. The problem with playing Final Fantasy VII and anything that requires graphics heavily, we don't have a graphics card. Yeah. I bought a computer without a graphics card years ago. And we kind of need to upgrade both the graphics card and the computer now. So, yeah, we'll do an upgrade of that eventually. Likely harasser. Restricted. Yes. They are a harasser. With Twitch. Thank you. They are spamming people's accounts. don't know. I mean, when we do the upgrade, I'm gonna have to think wildly about the platforms we're on. I mean, we're growing in YouTube, which is good. I don't really care about. Well, I mean, monetization will be nice, but I don't really care about monetization. I kind of on here more to do the art and tell the stories. Twitch though, I think Twitch is on the dying, and unless it gets changed hands or something, I don't think Amazon's doing it a favor these days. We were on Twitter, but Twitter changed its rules a little bit. We may go back to Twitter, but we'd have to go verified at that point with Twitter, which means I'd have to put in more effort on using Twitter if I'm paying for it. We won't do Facebook again or Instagram because they're owned by Facebook. Simply because they copyright struck me on my voice, not on music, on my voice. And I was like, well, you're gonna copyright strike me on me talking? I am not going to work with you. There are some games I have intended to play in our video game playthroughs when we do the upgrade. And we'll have an art upgrade while we do that too, because we'll be switching to a proper artist tablet and not a iPad. I don't mind the mobile functionality of Clip Paint, but it can be annoying because it's not as clean as its desktop counterpart. Plus I can do a lot more on the desktop version. I think it will do at 9:30. I'll do because I don't have any really more to talk about the Conjuring house. Other than, yeah, she needs mental help badly. We'll talk about the ghost problem. I will address, and I have to use air quotes, ghost problem I have in my apartment. It's been an issue since I moved in. Like I said, I am a skeptic. I've talked to other people who are not skeptic, and they're like, "Your place is haunted." It's like, nah. There's explanations. And I thought I had this issue solved. I may have talked about it somewhat recently in another video of thinking I solved it. But new strangeness occurred. And it literally occurred this afternoon as well. I was like, I can't explain this. but I find it funny. And it's not. I mean, we are getting to spooky time. Because school has started here in my state, this week. So, Halloween stuff is going to be coming out, if it's not already come out. And we'll do some more stuff. I mean, last year we did the scariest costumes of the past, as well as talking about my ghost problem. And I think we talked about also something else, but it didn't go as well as the other two. November is going to be the issue of coming up with topics, unless... Well, I mean, I do have a backlog of some stuff for topics. Originally, last week, we were going to talk about Atlantis discoveries that science may now firmly have a good idea where Atlantis is. Or was. As well as finding the answer to a mysterious metal of the past from Atlantis, which was Ori Halcomb. If you write fiction, Ori Halcomb is like one of the go-to fictional metals that's not like copyrighted like adamantine, might, or vibranium like with Marvel, or kryptonite with DC. We'll cover those in another time. But let's see. We got 20 minutes essentially. I mean, we're drawing Demon Blade, so I'll do a little talk about Demon Blade. So in the past, I always talk about the cast. We talked about Tetsu / Tetra being trans, and other elements of the story. I originally created, and this is where I'm going to touch on tonight. I originally created Demon Blade in the 1997. Mai was the first character I drew, Tetsu being the second, and Ino being the third. As well as Kaji and Yoku in different formats that they appear in the comics now. It was just supposed to be a typical anime-esque adventure story. And from the 1997, 98, 2000 point, it's more of a weekly comic strip, even though it was in a weird way. And I did get it published in my college newspaper because, well, I was the comic editor. So we didn't have many comics that I could run legally. So I had to draw them. And so between that and me doing commentary on daily events or whatnot, I would do the comics for the paper. So Demon Blade was an original part of it. But Mai and Tetsu for a little bit, were different than they were. Mai's probably the least. Mai's pretty much stayed her typical self. Always having had her heart stolen to make into a sword. Originally, when I got the idea, it was going to be a horror story. Mai was going to be sort of that demon that hunted out people. That changed pretty quickly, and it was realized, okay, it's more romantic comedy. Then, come around 2012, 2013, I've been doing other comics. I've been doing Critical View and Sweet Dreams. Sweet Dreams was my take on Little Nemo from Winsor McKay, being modernized into sort of an action anime. And once they ran, they grew a little bit of attention. But come 2012, I came up with I didn't come up. I found a site that was willing to host a comic series if I drew it from scratch for them. And that was what became Tapas. It was Ink Blazers at the time. And I was like, okay, I have a comic series I've drawn in the past. If I redraw it, that'll be it. That'll be for them. And so I was like, okay, we're going to do a test run of Demon Blade. And Comixology had just started. I was like, okay, Comixology, I am going to put together an issue in 1 week. And that's what I did. And we had Demon Blade 0 chapter. It went on to Comixology, and it got a okay grade. For something that was put together in a week is impressive, honestly. But it was decided when I made that we'd explore a little bit of Tetsu's back history, and the fact that Mai constantly would dress Tetsu in women's clothing. This was what would have developed Tetsu being trans later. And I had this other character that was from the older series that was sort of like a friend to antagonist role, kind of like this rival or friendship that became an enemy in the end. That was a mage, and that was the early take on Kyle. That went to be in 2013. But when I got to introducing Kyle, because he got introduced at the end of what will be next chapter in the Ink Blazers version. And the reason why those are not out, is because Ink Blazers closed, went to Tapas, and they lost my content. Most of my content, about half of it. And it pissed me off because, like, okay, I'm releasing this on Tapas and Webtoons, and people are like, hey, my pancake's almost done. Wow, that's gotta be a burnt pancake. You started that all the way at the beginning of the hour. Rookie. Unless you're doing like a stack, which I agree with. That's the way to go. Or you could be doing an Uncle Buck style pancake. Rest in peace, John Candy. Where it was just a big pancake. But, yeah. The plan of the 2013 comic, definitely set up Mai to be a darker toned character. And I made Batter fat first, and I'm a perfectionist. Yeah, pancakes are problematic for perfectionists. Because you're never gonna get that first one right. It's always the one to screw up. Because you gotta judge that heat of the pan properly. But yeah, I wrote Mai's backstory and some of Tetsu's. I kind of made Tetsu a blank character in 2013 until the current story arc that we're on with 2015 version. Because when I introduced Kyle, I was like, he's not a villain. He's a love interest. Like, crap. So, I made Kyle the flirtatious boyfriend. And started developing Tetsu a lot. And then came an issue where most people, because this was when Ink Placers was coming to an end. We were in the second half of what I released, because I released 24 comics. We were in the second year of Demon Blade. And I was making money off of them, but at the same time, it was like, okay, when they changed over, I didn't have half the book. So people couldn't read the early chapters. It's like, crap. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to redraw these because the content is not available anymore. So, other than Zero Chapter, people couldn't find the first book, or the 2013 release. I don't like that. I'm not gonna do that. Oh, shoot. Damn it. Now I've screwed that up. But yeah. So I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna remake it. It's done. I failed miserably at all the work for one bad pancake. Oh. Sorry. Jeez. Yeah, it sucks. I've eaten many a mistakes. I've got myself sick on some of the mistakes I've eaten. But, yeah, once I reintroduced Demon Blade with 2015 release, which is what its current is, we weren't going to do monthly. We were going to do as I release. And I knew more about Tetsu's backstory at that point. I knew it was like, okay, this is the solid backstory for Tetsu. This is the backstory for Ino. And in the past 4 or 5 years, I got the backstory for Kyle as well. So Kyle's even got a backstory now, and I didn't really even give him one in the past. And yeah, it's just a matter of focusing on characters and how to write them. I mean, Mai's always the energetic, sporty type, tomboyish girl. Tetsu's / Tetra's the brains, but is more of a girly girl. And Eno is creative and very much the heart. Oh, wait, crap. Alright, I moved this at some point. There we go. It shouldn't be moving. Why is the background messed up too? Huh. Okay, I'll have to fix that later. But yeah, it's giving each of the girls their own personalities, how they work, how they activate. Tetsu, Tetra, they have a greedy side about them. It gets them in trouble. Mai is a glutton, but is also overly prideful in her own actions. And Eno is very protective, overprotective. And I mean, Kyle is a playboy. He has a girl he loves, but he'll flirt with others. So I mean, it's important to kind of know your characters and build them up. So I know, it's especially going to show through in these next chapters because a lot of this is my backstory. A lot of this is going to cover her backstory, but a little bit, we'll see a bit of Tetsu and Kyle. A tiny bit of Eno because this is not an Eno story. We already had a story with her, and we're gonna have another one not too long after this story arc. But I mean, this is the build up to the first real villain of the story. So, and their confrontation. And an overall, a villain that'll play a role throughout the series. That is Shinyoku. Who's definitely had a glow up in this story writing. Over the years. I'm to the point that I can now be like, Yoku's history is here in this past. Okay. But, hold on, why are you, you must not be working. Nub was off. Okay. We've reached 9:30. I'm not gonna switch to the talk page because we don't really need to. Well, actually, I guess let me pull up my YouTube channel and we'll do that. I'll try and pull up the video, but I'm not gonna play the video as soon as the webpage loads. Come on. Alright. My channel. I'll go ahead and show you guys this. Okay. Video. Oh, no, live. We want lives. So, last year, oh crap, come on, load. We touched upon this, and it's, come on. Wait, we passed it. Okay. My home is haunted. This very video we did 9 months ago. I talked about how I moved into this apartment and a few strange things have happened. Lights turning on, water spots from water that's nowhere leaking, and some items have been thrown. Not by me. The typical things that people are like, my house is haunted. Alright. The water, I can't tell where it's coming from. It occasionally occurs now and then. It's like, The items being thrown, I never could explain. Let me actually try and draw this out. What I mean by items being thrown. I'll get a whole blank page going here and try and sketch out what I mean. Okay. So, I have a fridge, like most people would have in their home. So, we have a little fridge here in my tiny ass little kitchen, because literally my stove and my sink. And on top of my fridge, I have a casserole dishes. Powdered sugar, syrup, pain to the rescue. Sorry if I haven't been listening. What are you talking about? I'm going into my own ghost problem. And what I can't explain. So, a year ago, I started talking about this since I moved in this place. I had lights turning themselves on. I have water appearing on the floor without no one being around to put water on the floor. And I've had things thrown. The water, I still have no idea. I think it's mainly I might spill something, and I never see it, and it's until I'm in barefoot I find it. That's the only way I can guess at that. The stuff thrown, the main thing that spooked me was this casserole dish. So I have it on top of, actually, I have a microwave on top of my fridge, and it sits on top of my microwave, which is on top of my fridge, but it sits in the middle. Well, one day, that flung off and ended up on the other side of the kitchen. Not hard, because we're talking about 6 feet distance. But how a Pyrex dish flung off of the top of my fridge makes no sense. Once I had a ghost experience, I heard something come from the bathroom. I looked in the mirror. Unless you're not being funny. I had another one that I was easily able to explain, but that is something different. But you're right, press your scissors with my reflection, and I lost. Well, if you lost, that's a problem. Usually you just tie and you just have to give up. So, I'm not gonna even be like, okay, the throwing stuff, I don't know how it happened. It rarely happens. But sometimes something gets thrown. And I'm like, what? The lights issue, though. I'm gonna clear this out. I have this desk I bought from Amazon that is 2-layer. So it's like this and this. And this is where I work off of. And under there's LED lights. Well, in the past, it's like, okay, these are flickering on. I don't know why. A couple months ago, I was like, I got a Roku with the passing of my uncle. And I started messing with the Roku and noticed, hey, the lights are turning on and off when I press the Roku remote. So I was like, okay, maybe it's my neighbors turning them on and off. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to disconnect those lights. And they've been disconnected for weeks. They started turning themselves on. They're not connected. They're turning themselves on without being plugged in. I don't know how. These lights do not have a power source, and they're turning themselves on. I literally had it happen this afternoon when I got home. I was like, okay, I'm gonna unpack everything, and all of a sudden I turn around and the lights are on. It's like, what the hell? They're not plugged in. I'm literally looking at the plug, and it's unplugged. And it still comes on. It's like, what the hell, Ghost? I like keeping my electric bill low. Do not run my electric bill up, you bastard. Or start paying. Pay up the bill and I won't have a problem with it. You know, you throw things, as long as I don't get hit, I don't care. Or you break, if you break my Pyrex, I'm gonna be pissed, but. Because I only use those things about 4 or 5 times a year. But yeah. That's essentially my ghost story, my only experience. I've gone to places that are haunted before. Nothing. No strange, nothing. I went on a ghost tour of Williamsburg, Virginia. And they're like, oh, good chance to see ghosts. It's like, nothing happened. Like, and what's worse is they're like, no photography, no film. It's like, I'm here to catch ghosts, you bitch. Let me freaking film the damn thing. I paid money for this. It was more a matter of me and my friends had an evening to kill, and it was cheap. And it's like, yeah, we'll put down $15 each to go on this haunted tour of a historic site at like 9 o'clock at night. So I mean, it was something to do, but nothing happened. Once setting up Christmas lights, and I started unplugging stuff just to understand what was plugged in and what, and no matter what I did, one set would not turn off. That's creepy. See, I mean, that's the problem I've got right now. No, it's not plugged. The lights are not plugged in, yet they're turning on and off. I have no idea how. It's freaking crazy. I mean, I know I am not a scientist, but I do know a thing or two about electricity. That it needs a power source. So, that's my big mystery of my home. What's freaking me out? The other thing we were talking about, I was talking about how Demon Blade came to be in its current iteration. Another thing I've been watching a lot more of is how to write stories. I've written them before. What's going on here? I think I see what happened here. Okay. Where's everybody? I think I see what happened here. All right. Selection, deselect. Yep, that's what happened. Oh crap. His arm is not done right. Alright, well, we'll fix that. I need to select that window. I mean, while I use Supernatural in the stories with like Demon Blade and Witchin, in a sense, I use them for humor or a good setup, because it's a concept of why did Harry Potter work in people's imagination? Because magic, the unknown, it helps write a story. It's a good crutch. And it's the origin of most stories in the world. It's been the unknown. Trying to make sense of the unknown. And that's what I do. I'm telling stories. Trying to make sense of the unknown. And telling a good plot through it. Or at least I hope it's a good plot. I realized my color, it needs to be, because it's a uniform, it needs to be uniform. On our shirt. I'm questioning if I want to keep that pose, though. I kind of want to do something different, but I'll figure it out later on. That's one of the main things that drags Demon Blade along, is I want to make sure poses are done right, and when I get into heavy action that's coming, I gotta make sure the action is readable as to what's happening from panel to panel, because it's not like I'm animating it. Where you can see the movement from one angle to another. But yeah, other stuff to talk about. Well, I mean, I've been watching the anime for our anime review show that we do on Septum Simbers of the World. They also need to get in touch with me as to when they want me to do the reward show clip that I need to do. Because they have a reward show that they do in September, October, called the Versus Awards. And I helped design the award that they give to films. But yeah, I don't know who hosted animation category last year. I hosted it the year before. And we're talking about maybe doing that again. So only issue there is it's like they go obscure. So it's like, am I saying this one right? Is this title? Yeah. Because they'll go to artsy films, and it's like, how do I say this word? Drinking hot chocolate, and I'm getting tired. Used to be my go-to sleep aid was hot chocolate. Dark hot chocolate. Which, technically this is dark hot chocolate. It's got a little bit of pumpkin spice cream in it. But, that's to make it tasty. We will be back Saturday. I know I've been saying that. We've been canceling all the time. I have a few Dining and Doodles traditional to do, and a few that I need to draw. So I plan to do Saturday for a drawing. But there will not be a game, as I've stated before, until we do an update on the system, or I get a better feel for how long that's going to take, and then we'll do it. My sleep aid is high blood sugar. Wow, that's problematic. I have the opposite end. I'm low blood sugar. So it's like, I'm easy to fall asleep, but I'm also a very light sleeper. I have to wear a sleep mask, and if I hear a noise, I'm jarred awake. Let alone my nightmares. It's kind of hard to... we're supposed to be trying something new with my nightmares. To try herbalistic or or vitamin based to help counteract it, but I haven't tried them yet because it's been expensive, and other expenses have come in play first, like my car. But hopefully we'll have something. Little hint at upcoming Witchin panel there for people. Some new characters around. Towards the end of chapter 5. So we'll have some amusing little moments with the cast. I don't know why I gave this goblin a pompadour. I really don't. I just like, I want him to be, mafia guy kind of thing. It's an over-the-counter drug that reduces anxiety, manageable levels, no negative side effects, parental cancer. Have you tried NAC? No, I have not. We're leaning towards melatonin or getting some magnesium to help me sleep. I'm already on anti-anxiety meds, and they work to help me sleep. The problem is I don't want something to knock me out terribly, because I do need to get up early in the morning, and I go to bed at midnight to 1 o'clock and get up at 6:30 to 7. So it's iffy on how heavy I can take a sleep med. Me sleeping in on the weekend is getting up at 8 in the morning on a Saturday and then maybe taking a nap about midday. That's me sleeping in. I used to go 3 days without sleep regularly. And that's simply because my brain is just that active. To make dreams more vivid and makes me drowsy for the following day. And it's something for me to try and see. I already have pretty vivid dreams, so I can't imagine them becoming more vivid unless I go into Inception kind of dreams, where it's I come out of it all the time and be like, what day is this? What week is this? Where was I? I have had those dreams, but I've not had it regularly. I wouldn't mind them. I sleep better when I have those dreams. Worse when I have those nightmares, but better when I have those dreams. But yeah, Mobster Goblin. That's the only way I can think of, because I'm developing on the fly, and I feel the Wansdales being this all-powerful family of mages from the past. I feel that they should be semi-mob-like in their actions. So it just makes sense to make them have a goblin in their employ that's oh, it'd be a shame if we, mess things up around here type. So, it's good to sometimes write characters on the fly, but it's also important to know what your other characters are like, or your established characters are like. And with Witchin, until I wrote part 2, or chapter 2, I did not know Ida's problem was going to be that she gets lost in herself with tasks or just directions. She'd be like, oh, well, I'm going to start a conversation and now I'm lost. Be like, oh. I didn't want to give her the Ryoga Hibiki / Zoro from One Piece style of getting lost, because it's fun, but not main character fun. You don't want a main character that gets lost. So making her more sort of centrally focused and oblivious to the world around her is probably better for being main character status. I mean, Tetsu's flaws, again, they're greedy, but they're also bad at art, which I've shown in the comic, and they're bad at driving. They are overly cautious with their driving skills. Mai is stuck in the past because she comes from 300 years before. Gluttonous and greedy in a sense. But more gluttonous than greedy. I mean, she just wants stuff because it can happen. And she's naive to the world. You know, it's more shy. It's more the shy character. But she's not. The main characters of Demon Blade are Mai and Tetsu / Tetra. So. The other one would be this. I guess I could say the story characters. I mean, Azul and Mobster X Maid Girl. Their problem is klutz. I mean, they're a klutz. They're cursed to be a klutz. But they're also adapting to their scenario. They're from. It's an isekai. They're not used to this world. In 11 Kingdoms, we have Jamie Eve / Fawn Midden. Hers is anxiety driven. That's definitely her flaw. She is horribly anxiety driven to the point that she has panic attacks regularly. And in the new series, we have our main character, Mira, is what she's called. And her flaw is she literally has no knowledge of her past, but is haunted by it. So it's a moment of trying to recollect your life when everything around you is alien and unknown. So it's giving them these flaws that help characterize your characters. So, I mean, this is why we have Mai eating a tray full of hamburgers with the wrapper still on. She's gluttonous. I guess Tetsu does have a little bit of a anger issue, but rightfully so. They have another issue, but I don't want to give it out because it's unnoted part of the past. But it involves elements that have been seen in the comic, but not explained. Let's see here. Are we, okay, yeah, it's late. Boogie Boo, I hope you sleep well on those pancakes. And I thank you for joining in. I also thank Safer for joining in as well tonight. We made it through our 2 hours. We'll have to do another topic next week. Don't know if it's going to be archaeology or not. I've got a couple of those built up, as well as some alien stories to cover for topics. But that's if the world doesn't come to a burning drama at some point for us to cover. But, as always, I want to thank you all for joining in tonight. And go out there and be the best you that you can be. And have a wonderful evening, wonderful week, and wonderful year. And we'll be back Saturday. Good night, everybody.
Lights go down streams and thanks for time we spent. Laughs and smiles all through night. With you, it feels just right. Signing off. Don't forget like, comment, some. Signing off. Ring the bell and show some out. Good vibes shared, a fun ride. With you, I'm filled with pride.